Next, we have with us Ms. Polina Meshcheryakova with a session, How Can Business Align its Strategy with SDGs Best Practices from Russia? Ms. Polina Meshcheryakova is an international relations specialist with 3 years of media and education experience. 3+ years of media and education experience. She is the CEO and founder of the Art of Communication and has a master's and bachelor's degree in international relations from a top Russian university. She currently organizes PR support of social projects, networking events, prepares educational products on communication, and leads a blog on social media on sustainable development in support of SDG 4 and 17. Over to you, Ms. Paulina, for your session. How can business align its strategy with the SDGs best practices from Russia?
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening from Moscow. Thank you so much for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to speak today on this such an important topic. So yes, I'm going to speak about how business of different scales can align its strategy with the SDGs, and I will talk more specifically about best practices that we have here in Russia. So let's go forward. As the SDG 17 is a very large topic, and I will more specifically focus on the target 17.16, which is ensure the global partnership for sustainable development, complemented by multi-stakeholder partnerships, and target 17.17, which is on encouraging this public-private civil society partnerships, because I think these are the two most relevant to the subject I will be presented today. So, but before that, let's try to analyze the main reasons why business should adopt the sustainable development goals. Everyone talks a lot about this subject, but let's look at the numbers. As you can see on the right-hand side, there is this little diagram, which shows that once achieved, the SDGs are set to create 12 trillion US dollars of market opportunities. And can you imagine that? That's a really great sum. And that is going to happen in four main spheres, which represent roughly 60% of the real economy. You can see them on the slides. These are food and agriculture, cities, energy and materials, health and well-being. All of these are very important subjects, of course. If we talk about some other reasons to adopt the SDGs, well, of course, given the COVID-19 situation and the overall hard situation in the world, when people are losing their jobs, in Moscow we were going to have a lockdown the coming days. You can see that business can help to create 380 million new jobs by 2030. And for business, of course, it would mean that it will help you to adhere to government strategies, to enhance your reputation, to maintain some documents to operate, and of course, to make the market better and to attract talented, high-skilled employees and generally lift up the economy of your country, of course. Also, the other reason is that the early adopters of the SDG will be able to have 15 years of advantage. That's also great because, for example, if you are a business and you are launching, for example, a product, you can imagine that the pioneers that will use your product will gain the most advantage, buy it at the better prices. The same works with the SDGs, same situation. Also, growth and new business opportunities. Well, this is one of the most evident reasons, I would say. And this is a McKinsey study was published, and they said that this reason is mentioned among 54% of the sustainable business leaders. So they say this is one of the main reasons why they adopt the SDGs to their policy. One more reason is cost savings. Of course, if you have a more sustainable supply chain, if you make up a more sustainable system, it will help you to reduce your costs and to have a more efficient business model. Next one is higher retention of talented employees. What do I mean by that? As you know, millennials will represent 75% of the workforce in 2025. And you must know that millennials are 5 times more eager to grow in the company, stay there, because of course you want to keep your employees when they feel they are connected to this mission of the founder, the purpose. And of course, if your mission is to build a socially responsible business, this will give you more points among your employees. This is by PwC study. And the last but not the least is general trust from your clients who buy your products and higher willingness to purchase. Of course, Unilever said that businesses with a sustainable vision, they grow twice as much because people are more eager to buy from you if you truly have a very good social environmental policy and you are responsible. Okay. So as you see, private sector is a indispensable actor of global partnership for sustainable development. It's very important for business to engage in the process. But how can business align its strategy with the SDGs? Now let's have a look. I have outlined some 4 very practical steps. So step number 1 is to learn more about the SDGs. So this is what you are already doing if you are participating in this summit, and how they can be applied to your business. And you need to also grow awareness of your colleagues, your peers. Second step, you need to set the priorities, because of course, if you take one business and other business, you will have different topics, different issues. And for one, it could be most important SDG 4, for other SDG 8. So you will need to define priorities for your value chain. Number 3 is to apply this lens to all the aspects of the business and to establish these partnerships, which I will talk a little bit more a bit later, with representatives of the sector, governments, other stakeholders. And the 4th step, but not the least, is to analyze your actions, provide performance reports, just share your best practices and tell us what worked and what not. Okay, so what are the stakeholders that we're talking about that could be involved in such partnerships? These are government, of course, civil society NGOs, your colleagues from other businesses, United Nations, foundations, donors, academia, media, trade union, foundations, and many more. You can work with all of them. Okay, but what are the types of partnerships? Well, these are not exclusive, but still, I have outlined 3 of them. The first one is when you are attracting other resources to your company. I mean, from external resources. For example, you are asking government to help you with some regulations, or you're asking for technical expertise from an NGO, so you are attracting their attention to your company. The second one is when you join forces of actors to do the traditional development better together. So you're making the traditional methods just work better by combining your forces. And the third one is when you unite different organizations to transform the whole system, to change the ways of thinking, the ways of application of your expertise. Okay, but now let's move to practice, which is one of the most interesting things, I guess. So I will tell you about a program which is called Start Differently. It's all Russian program. It has been carried out in Russian regions. It has been launched by Russian bank, Rosbank, together with Impact Hub Moscow. It's designed to support social entrepreneurs and non-profit organizations that help people with disabilities. For example, they create employment opportunities for them, they create goods or some kind of services, and so on and so forth. How do they help them? They help them create financially viable, stable business models, because of course, if you are young entrepreneur, you don't know what a financial model is, you don't know where to take this money from, and all of these problems, although you have a very, very nice idea in your mind. So among other aims that they had in this program is, of course, forging partnerships between business representatives and NGOs to connect them, to bring their expertise, to provide educational programs on entrepreneurship, simply share the expertise of people who are more proficient in this sphere, and help the NGOs and social business. Of course, one of the most important ideas behind here is to attract press and public sector attention. And why is it important? Because this subject is still very much has a stigma on it, and so it's essential to do that, to destigmatize vulnerable groups and the topics of inclusion, to introduce them into discussion more, and to help people with disabilities. What are the results? Well, you can see that 34 finalists from 28 Russian cities successfully completed the program, and 24 of them reached operational self-sustainability, which means that their social business is working very well, and they do not rely on financial situation on donors or anything else. They're able to sustain their own business. So as you can see, this program contributes to, for example, SDG 4, 8, 10, and 17, of course. You can see the banner of the program on the right-hand side. So yes, this is one of the examples. Another example is a program called Generation M. It's a very artistic project, charity one, which has been done by a large mobile network provider here in Russia. It's called MPS. And it is an online program platform, which is has been done in partnership with the NGOs, celebrities, regional authorities, and volunteers. It's aimed at developing the talent of children. The proceeds of this program are donated to children with serious medical conditions. So as you see here, they also had quite efficient multi-stakeholder partnerships. They held offline events to share these cultural values. They developed a number of creative opportunities for children educated on these topics. And the idea was also 1 year ago, they started promoting the idea of ecological thinking, education, ecotourism, and also maintaining cultural and natural heritage. So what's the results of this program? As you see here, there are quite many of them. These online educational courses have been attended more than 30 million children from all Russian regions, which means that they, for example, saw some courses on how to be artistic. From these courses were filmed by celebrities, cultural representatives from the region, and this has been done on the pro bono basis, which means that for free, and they were mentored in this project. So as a result, 638 children were profited from these creative opportunities as well, from 68 regions, and Russia is a big country, of course. Also, 250 seriously ill children received treatment thanks to funds transfers. All the proceeds went to the children, and of course, many more other positive results. So, as you see, they succeeded in contributing to SDG 3, which is about health, SDG 4, quality education, 8, about decent work, because these children have will be able to have a bright future because they received such a great such great education opportunities, reduced inequalities, 11 and 17. Okay, so, and last one is a project developed by me as a sustainable development consultant and a Russian film director. We are planning to create a short film with the participation of actors with Down syndrome. So that's a partnership of between a video production company and the theater. And so the results are still to come. We are attracting investments on this project. But as a small business representative, we are doing what we can and trying to also participate in the process. So, what could be the next steps? What could you look at to have more information about sustainable development and frameworks? Well, you can see them on the slide. I would particularly highlight UN Global Compact and its principles, because I also got to work with the UN Habitat and the Sustainable Development Goals in Moscow, and we collaborated with the UN Global Compact, which really helps businesses to understand more sustainable development goals and provide information. They organize events. Well, they do a lot, and this is like their main specialization. Also, you could use and read ILO declaration, ISO guidance on social responsibility. That's these are the social standards by these organizations, and OECD guidelines for multinational enterprises. So yes, highly recommended. Okay, these are the references. So thank you for your attention. It has been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. If you are interested more in the on the process and how we are progressing with this little project of ours, you can follow me on Instagram. We'll be happy to give you more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Polina, for that very inspiring session. Thanks for sharing those amazing stories of partnerships from Russia, and great to know the amazing work you're doing. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us today.